Alright, everybody. It looks like I'm starting to get some of the sound stuff worked out. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. Welcome! I am the Amazombie. This is your StarCraft 2 newscast weekly edit. We are on episode number 10, and this is the fourth video episode that I've ever done. So, it's getting there. It's coming along, and there's some stuff to talk about this week. What I mainly want to go over though, is really, there's a few minor things, but I'm going to be talking a lot about GSL Code, the Foreigners, and the Foreigner scene, which I'm not sure what to think yet, but we're going to go over some of that. First, I got to bring up a couple other things. If you've never seen what I do, go to sc2newscast.com. I do a daily, 5 days a week, a 2 to 5 minute podcast and blog post just outlining the scores from the day, essentially, and who advanced in what tournaments and what else is going on, any other player and team news that I can kind of dig up at the time. Nothing, amazing, or just kind of a quick place where one little simple place to go, and it just kind of gives you a rundown of the events of the day. So that's what I do in general. On Tuesdays, I do this show. This is the weekly edit. This is a little thing that I just started kind of doing for fun because, I like doing the newscast, but sometimes I just want to talk about other stuff. Of course, I'm talking about esports, StarCraft related, but, I don't want to just give the news. I want to give my opinion. I used to be a guy who did a lot of debating, and I'm used to giving my opinion. So, this week it's going to be about GSL mainly. Tune in next week. I'm trying to put together a special show, have a couple of guests on, so make sure to tune in next week. Hopefully I can get all that together for you. So anyway, let's start off with my first little topic of news of the day. Let's talk about the big news coming out from GSL. For those who missed it a few days back, there was a show match between this guy. That's right. You all know who that is, right? You better, because if you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you. This Slayer's boxer, of course, and there was a show match between him and his old arch rival, Yellow. And it's an SC2. Yellow was playing Zerg for SC2, and he admitted before the match that he was in the Gold League. He'd only been literally playing for 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, not even a month that he's actually touched the game. So he said he was in the Gold League. Boxer admitted at the beginning he was just going to play around. It was obvious Boxer could have rolled him at any point. But it was a best-of-3 game series. It ended 2-1. Boxer had told Yellow that he's playing, during the match they did a lot of talking, and said he's playing it too much like it's Brood War, when it's a different game. You have to play it a little differently. Anyway, there was a lot of speculation about this, and the big news coming out from Yellow today, or yesterday, is that Yellow is now an honorary member of the Slayers family, coming from Slayers Jessica's mouth herself. She is. They said he's not part of the team. He's an honorary team member, is what they called it, and that he is now being personally represented by Slayers Jessica. She is his manager, and the thing is that they set up with the GSL. They're going to start a show series, is what I believe it said. It was going to be like a mini series or like a reality show about Yellow trying to practice with coaches and try to make it to Code. That sounds awesome. I am actually quite excited. That sounds like an awesome idea to me. Yellow apparently realized how big his show match was, and he came to, I think, kind of realize that he's a more important member of the esports, of StarCraft 2 esports community than I think he thought he was. And how influential he can be. And I think it's his way of trying to, one, give something back, but also trying to, work on getting some new glory. Could it be that maybe he'll be really good? Maybe StarCraft 2, the way the style will actually be better for him than Brood War was? I don't necessarily think so, but it could happen. It's a definite possibility. And could Yellow... I mean, the exciting part is just the thought that maybe Yellow could actually win the championship that he was so often denied in Brood War. That would be awesome. I mean, the guy deserves it, man. I mean, if you ever seen... He's the historic number 2, right? He always came in second, quite often to Slayer's Boxer, and he never won his championship. I believe there was one... I think I remember hearing something about... there was even one... Because when he was big, when they were big, it was before I was into the scene at all. I mean, I liked Brood War. I was into Brood War. But the tournament scene, the Korean scene, I knew really nothing about it. I'd heard of Slayer's Boxer. That's about it. But... there was even apparently I was told a story about he was at the finals for some tournament, and he was totally supposed to roll the guy that his opponent and actually win his championship, but there was something about the map pool, and one of the maps was like majorly imbalanced or something, but they couldn't change it before. It was some stupid thing like that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what a horrible situation for Yellow. Anyway, we've been talking about Yellow for a while. Anyway, that's the big news coming from him. I wish him the best. I felt kind of bad for him at the show match because he seemed disappointed in himself for his play. He seemed like, one, he expected more, which that's totally fine. Let me fix my headphones here. I have something weird going on. I don't know what's going on. Whatever, they're kind of lopsided. Anyway, he seemed disappointed for his fans. He wanted to put on a better showing, and that's totally honorable. I have so much respect for the man, because I'll tell you what, nothing teaches you humility like being so great at something but never winning. No, I mean, this guy, he knows what it means to lose, and he knows what it means to be great. So he's got this great, humble opinion of life, and he just seems so disappointed in himself. And I wish he wouldn't be, because no one expected him to win, right? No one expected him to be great at StarCraft 2 right out of the box. But he wasn't terrible either. I mean, he had a pretty good understanding of how the game worked. He did some... His timings weren't quite there. I mean, you can't expect a guy in 3 weeks to know the timings of your opponents. I mean, his mechanics were pretty good, and he even had a couple of interesting... He did this kind of repeated mass roach drop in Game 2. He actually won that game. Boxer, of course, was playing around kind of at the beginning, but it was still entertaining. I don't know. I just wish he wouldn't be so disappointed in himself, and it's good to see him doing this, because it seems like he's kind of understood that it's not a disappointment, that it was a moment of greatness, and his humility, his humbleness was in itself a moment of greatness, and he is an icon. So, it's good to see him coming out. I really, you know, I don't know if he'll do well or not, but the struggle is what, of course, the human drama is what makes sports so entertaining and so interesting, and Yellow is such a good example of that. So, thank you, Yellow. I'm gonna cut you away for a little while. Okay, next thing that I'm gonna talk about quickly. It was announced, I don't know if you'd seen this. I don't know. The Korean team Startale with some great players like Bomber and July. I guess the big news, the best way I see it, is that I think that they must have recruited a new player. I think they recruited Kirby from Dreamland. And the reason I say this, I wonder how, I don't know what race Kirby plays, but the reason I say this is because they have a new logo, and it's kind of stirring up some controversy. Well, not controversy, but it seems like you either love it or hate it. Are you guys ready for this? If you haven't seen it, this is great. This is not trolling. I'm not joking here. This is the new Startale logo. Ready? Sorry, I still I can't hardly look at it without laughing. It's hilarious. Hold on. Okay, there we go. But let's bring it back up on the big screen. Okay, look at this. Look at this. What is this? This is a StarCraft logo. This cracks me up. It looks. Kirby from Dreamland. That must be one of their new players. This is like his new thing. I'm guessing maybe they did this to entice some. Maybe Mario. Maybe they want Mario on their team. Maybe they're interested in recruiting some Pokemon. I don't know. But this is hilarious. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's even like looking up at the S like, oh, I'm in awe. And then it's even got, look at his tongue is like a little heart. And then I don't. What does a happy little loving heart star have to do with an awesome, I'm gonna kick your ass war game? I don't quite get the connection. I'm sorry, I don't. I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's a horrible logo. I just think that it doesn't really work for StarCraft 2. I think it works for Pokemon. If you were a team of professional Pokemon players, there you go. You got it right there. I don't get it. It's funny. It's hilarious. That's all. That's all. I mean, I love StarTale. They're not my favorite team, but I do love StarTale, and I just think it's hilarious. Alright, on to our main topic of the day. On to our main topic. Are you ready for this? Bam! GSL. The new month of GSL started just the other night. We've had 1 day of Codex play and 3 different groups in Code play. Oh, excuse me. So, the exciting thing about this GSL is that... There we go. Okay. The exciting thing about it is that there's five foreigners in this one. Now, the unfortunate thing is one of them has already played. And if you haven't heard, spoiler alert, of course, Fnatic Phoenix played last night, and he lost 2-0 in 2 very quick games. And it wasn't, though, I'm going to add this, though, it wasn't like he just sucked. It was like, it was Terran versus Protoss, and, you know, Fnatic Phoenix is Terran. One, he's an ultra-aggressive Terran, too. And he just it was kind of like build order losses. I mean, it was in game 1, he just was made a slight mistake, though, and if he could have repaired the bunker quicker, he probably could have held the initial push. Don't know if he would have won the game, but he just kind of messed up at the initial push from Tassadar. He played against Tassadar, which new star Hostio Tassadar, he's no slouch, okay? He is not someone. He is not a bad player at all, and losing to him is not depressing. Here's our buddy. Here's Fnatic Phoenix. Look at that guy. You know, I gotta say something just quickly about that. I hate this pose that all these pro gamers are. You're always shots of them going. I hate it. They're not boxers. Especially the ones with Idra, which they crack me up because he doesn't look like a person that could fight in real life at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's probably pretty scrappy, but he's like... I mean, he just looks all timid, you know. And I'm just like, what? Now Phoenix here looks kind of intimidating because he's like... But still, I just hate that boxer pose. I mean, I don't know. Not boxer like this boxer. Boxer like a fighter, and I just hate it. Anyway, Fnatic Phoenix, and he's had some. Fnatic is a team that has done some damage over in the GSL. If you remember, TT1 and Sen have both done some damage. Dr. Pepper, sports the drink of esports. Support. On that note, support Dr. Pepper. Why? Because they support the MLG. They do a lot. They do more for esports than a lot of drinks. So Pepsi and Dr. Pepper, Pepsi sports GSL, Dr. Pepper sports MLG. So come on, support those guys. Anyway, Fnatic has done well, so everyone knows. Fnatic Phoenix goes over there. I'm sure Tassadar just roll. I mean, Tassadar is a strong player. So it's not really. I mean, I would not be surprised to see like a Tassadar Dongregu finals or semifinals. Like those are probably two of the strongest players. The other one that happened last night was Slayer's Boxer. I don't have much to say. Boxer lost last night. He lost 2-0. He lost 2-0 to who did he lose to? Oh, Leenock. Now, that's not so bad. I mean, Leenock is a very, very strong young player. Can be very inconsistent at times, but he's not a pushover either. He's not, I don't know, Tails or Dream or Inca. I mean, these guys are fine, but they're not the strongest of players in the world. But poor Boxer lost, so he's going to have to go back through some kind of qualifier or whatever to get back into Code A, and it's too bad. Just because whether or not his playstyle is great, the GSL is better with him. It's more exciting. It's more volatile. And so when he loses, and I don't mean to put this pressure on him. I don't want him, I wouldn't want him to think that he has to win or everything's going to fail. But the fact is, if he is involved, there's going to be more viewers. There's going to be more excitement. That's fact. That's all there is to it. I don't know. Poor Boxer. Anyway, here's a quick rundown of all the GSL Code A score so far. Okay, here we go. I got them written down here. We had Fruit Dealer over Maro 2-0. Gonzi, good old Slayers, Gonzi beat Van Vanth, who used to be Banbansu 2-1. Yoda beat the Best 2-1, that's fine. Jajakji beat Lovesick 2-0. FC beat Extreme 2-0. Teja, Slayers Teja, beat Tails 2-1. Dongregu just rolled over Inca 2-0, as he should have. Smart took down AnyPro 2-0, which is a little... AnyPro was Code S very recently. I mean, he's kind of fallen off the wagon. Tassadar over Phoenix 2-0. Leenock over Boxer 2-0. Maka over Dream 2-0. Now, we haven't seen much out of Maka lately. I remember he did really well in like the very first couple GSLs. He did okay, and then Marine King over Hack. It's weird to see Marine King down in Code A, and I expected him. Xenix Hack is a very good player, but I expected Marine King to roll over him, and he did. And just Marine King, he, I'm sure, is not happy being knocked down to Code A. He is probably very upset. I mean, he's, what was it? Is it 3 times second place in GSL so far? 3? He's like the yellow of frickin' GSL so far. So, I expect him to really be trying. I don't know if he can make it through Dongregu or maybe even Leenock or SC is very strong. Fruit Dealer. I think Fruit Dealer is going to step up his game this time because he realized he doesn't want to be in Code A. So, okay. So then we also had. On that note, I'm sorry, got distracted. So yeah, expect Marine King to fight his way up through there because I don't think you're going to be seeing him in Code A for very long. He's too good of a player. So we had a couple of Code F matches last night. We had the group with MMA, Nestea, Happy, and Kirix, and MMA and Nestea won, and MMA even took a game off of Nestea. We all know that's not an easy feat to do. So MMA and Nestea advanced. Happy remains Codex. Codex and Kirix fell to is falling to the up and down match, or the whatever they call it, the Code B or whatever the heck they're calling it right now. Kirix is a pretty strong player, but And I don't know, he's probably, I see him kind of on the same level with Happy, but definitely Nesty and MMA were the two favorites. The other match from last night was MVP, Polt, Noblesse, and MC. And in that order, MVP and Polt advanced. Noblesse stays Codes, and MC? MC falls to the up and down matches? MC. Two-time GSL champion. That's kind of like as surprising as Marine King being down in Code A. I mean, MC? What? The guy is... Well, I mean, it can be. I mean, and let me say this. MC is one of these guys that makes the game exciting. He's kind of like Boxer in that way. And when he's doing well, the game is exciting. But his play style, I personally was never that big of a fan of. I never thought he was quite as good as he was showing. Not saying he's not good. He's an amazing player. But I don't think he's better than Nesty. I don't think he's better than MVP. He's not... I don't know. I would have expected him to beat Noblesse, so I think he's better than Noblesse. I think he's kind of one of those... I would count him as maybe about where he is, but I would have expected him to stay Codes and not have to go through the up and down matches. That's a little disappointing. Anyway, start coming up tonight or early tomorrow morning, we have the start of the last day, I believe, the last round of Code A play, and this is where almost all the rest of the foreigners, other than Phoenix, are going to be in here. Here's all the foreigners. There they are. Bam. These are the 5 foreigners competing in this match. We have Naniwa, Fnatic Phoenix, that's Dignitas Naniwa, Fnatic Phoenix, Liquid Jinro, Sase. Who's Sase with? I forget. Who is he with? Now I look like an idiot. Hold on, let me look it up quickly. Wow, I feel so stupid. I can't remember what team. He was with MYM. Is he still with MYM? No, I think he's solo now. So maybe I'm forgetting because he doesn't have a team currently. It says MYM, but I don't know if he is still with MYM. I think that he left. And then Mouse Thorzane. So these are a bunch of players from very strong... These are all strong players. Sase, I believe, was a Warcraft 3 player. Thorzane and Naniwa both were as well. Liquid Jinro was, of course, great Brood War player. I believe Frozen Arbiter, wasn't that his name? I don't know about Phoenix. I'm not sure what he played. I really don't know much about him in general. But anyway, these are our foreigners. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown of their matches and kind of see what we can see. And so our first one up is Thorzane. So I love Thorzane. I love watching Thorzane. Although he doesn't win, he hasn't been doing as well as I would be hoping for. He did not do as well in the Blizzard EU Invitational was just this weekend. He did not do as well as I would have hoped. But he did, take like 3rd place or something, or 4th place. It was Naniwa, Thorzane, Rhett, and Sase, I believe, or the 4. And Rhett ended up taking the title, so congrats to him on that. But Thorzane, of course, and he's matched wits with Naniwa so many times right now, starting with that TSL 3, which is where Thorzane really got to be a big name. He's a really strong player. It's scary, but he kind of reminds me of... He plays this such brilliant style that's by the skin of his teeth. You know, he makes these defenses that are just barely hold, and then he comes back to crush you. Or they just barely don't hold and he loses. I mean, he plays by the skin of his teeth, and I like that. It's gritty. It's in your face, you know. So Thorzane, his match is going to be against a Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh. He should beat Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, yeah, I think he should beat Yu-Gi-Oh. I think he'll take that match. Next up, we have Sase. Now, Sase's a guy that I've always heard his name, and I know what he's done, but I've never really watched much of his games. I've seen a few here and there, but I've never really paid that much attention. But I know he is very strong. He's supposed to be. I mean, and he's winning stuff. He's doing really well. He's one of the highest ranked foreigners. And he's going up against Sniper. Now, Sniper, unless he's someone who recently changed his name, I don't know who that is. I don't know who. Let me see if I can find something quickly on Sniper. Who is Sniper? Anybody? No? No? Sniper? Do any of you guys know? Anybody know? This isn't live. I know you can't really help me much, but let me look it up quickly here, because I want to be able to know who I'm talking about. I don't think, though... There we go. Oh, he's a Zerg player from MVP. Okay. Huh. Oh, he used to be known as... Oh, Killer. Okay. Killer. I have seen... I think he's played in the Team League some, and I have seen a little bit of him. Yeah. Killer. Wasn't he the first guy that... I think he was the first player that QXE took out in the all-kill, if I remember correctly. That was a Zerg player. I think it was him. And I remember watching him and thinking that his style was solid, but he really didn't have much, at least in that game. I haven't seen anything else of him. So I really don't know. I would like to see Sase. At this point, I know Sase more than I know Sniper, so I'm going to give it to Sase. Why not? Freaking stand up for the foreigners. It's about time that they step up their game. Oh, Mr. Bitter said something about that at the EU Invitational, and he is right. Now, on this note, quickly, I don't think that the foreigners are as bad as there's as big of a difference as I think a lot of the Koreans and even some of the fans think that there is. I don't think that the difference is that huge, but the Koreans are better. And I think that most of the foreigners are around the low Code level. You know, around the Code level of Koreans. So, I think that they could do okay. Anyway, let's move on. Our next player that we're going to talk about is Naniwa. Now, Naniwa is a very strong, solid Protoss player. Occasionally cheeses, occasionally beats himself. As we remember with the famous Dance of Death from MLG. If you missed that, it's pretty hilarious. Look up Naniwa Dance of Death. It's quite funny. So Naniwa is playing against Czech. Now, Czech, he was with Prime. Is he still with Prime? Yeah. So Czech Prime is a guy that was really big coming out of the beta and then coming out of the first season into the first season of GSL. He was really strong. Very good player. But he's kind of fallen off. I mean... I don't think he's really kept up with the times. And in some ways, neither has Naniwa. I don't think Naniwa... But, you know, every tournament recently, Naniwa's been up there. Him and Huck were the two highest rated foreigners in the last MLG. Naniwa was, I think, the highest or one of the highest rated foreigners in the MLG before that. He was... second place at Home Story. He's always up there. They just played that EU Invitational. He was second place, I believe. He is always up there. I would almost go so far, at least on the foreign scene, to kind of say Naniwa has top 3 control. With the exception of when the Koreans come over, like an MLG. But if you just count the foreigners at an MLG, he's always up there. And so, he's a very strong player. He is a guy... Who's he playing against? Oh, Czech Prime. That's right. So, Czech is a Zerg player. I think he can take him. I think Naniwa can take him. Naniwa's some very good Zerg builds. Of course, we saw him just get rolled over by Dongregoo, but everyone knows Dongregoo right now is... Oh, I just got a text message. If you heard the Zelda sound there. So, Naniwa is... Naniwa's yeah. Oh, yeah, Dongreggu. He got rolled by Dongreggu, but Dongreggu is leaps and bounds ahead of most Zergs, with the exception of, like, he's probably up there. He's up there with a level of, like, a Lucira, or not. I don't know if he's an ST level. He might be. I mean, we have to see, because an ST is just insane right now. But I think he's good. I think Naniwa can take him. Yeah, love for the foreigners. Our next one, Liquid Jinro. Now, Liquid Jinro is a guy that, of course, I love. One, I love Terran players. I'm mostly a Zerg player. When I do play other race, I like Terran. I don't really like Protoss at all. I can't understand why people like playing that race. But Jinro is, one, a very strong player, two, a very strong Liquid player, and, I mean, come on, you gotta love the Team Liquid guys. And two-time semifinalist in a GSL. He just got knocked down to Code A from last season. And that's too bad, because he is so good. It just... He hasn't been shown as much lately. I mean, he's just been kind of playing. It's just kind of bland, you know? Why? So, he's going up against Lucky. I think he could take Lucky. Lucky's not that great. Yeah, I think he can take Lucky. Boy, am I setting some high marks for the foreigners today. I'm guessing all four of the foreigners to win tonight. I don't think it'll actually happen. I believe out of... Let me see. Let me look at this list again. Sase beating Sniper, I'm pretty much think that'll happen. And I believe Naniwa will beat Czech as long as Naniwa doesn't beat himself. Jinro versus Lucky. I think Jinro should win, but I don't know if he will. And I think Thorzane and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are probably around the same level, so I think that one could go either way. But I gotta root for Thorzane. You gotta love the guy. So, I think that's about all that I wanted to kind of talk about today. Go ahead. If you agree or disagree, leave comments, talk about it. There's a Team Liquid thread also. There we have Twitter, we have Facebook, so whichever way you want to discuss. I want to hear your opinions about this. The match is going to be tonight, I believe. I don't know. This Code A is looking a little weird. In some ways, it's very predictable, and it's who you would expect to win. But in some ways, it's also strange because the people you expect to win that are in this Code A seem like they should be in Code S. You know what I mean? And then we have the group of foreigners, and then also in the team leagues. I forgot to mention this. The team leagues. I believe we have F United start playing today. Now, where is? Can we find the full list of F United? Okay, here's the players we have on now. If you recall, what F United is the foreigner team. Well, a mix of teams from. It's a mix of players. It's 3 players from We Made Fox, and then 3 foreigner players. And I believe that's all. There might be a few, but I know we have those 6 players for sure. We have We Made Fox Moon, We Made Fox Lin, and We Made Fox Soccer. And then we have Dignitas Naniwa, Mouse Thorzane, and Fnatic Phoenix. This, I believe, is a better team than FXO. I'm not knocking FXO. They have some good players, but I think that this F United will win a couple of matches. I think that they should. Just because, yes, FXO has a couple of really good players, but to me, there's a big difference between the QXC and the Sheth, who's now with Team Liquid, of course, but at the time he was on FXO, and the rest of FXO. I mean, Moonin was a good Brood War player, but he hasn't really shown much in SC2. And T-Gun needs to learn to scout. I mean, I love T-Gun for the human side of T-Gun, but he definitely has some major holes in his play. Who else did they have? I don't even want to think about them right now. They're done. They're done with their thing. But, I mean, So F United, I mean, Moon is strong, Lin is strong, Soccer's, I think, okay. I think I've seen a couple of his games. But yeah, Phoenix, Thorzane, and Naniwa are three very, very strong foreigners. So I believe they start playing this weekend also. So that's pretty exciting. I'm glad to see that. I don't know, the foreigners, we need to step up our game, man, if we want to compete in the GSL. We really do. And I think we are, and I think we will. I could see within the next year, I think I could see a foreigner winning GSL. That's a bold statement, but I think I could see it. Or at least a foreigner in the finals. Within the next year. Yeah, I think so. That's going to be, you know what, that's my prophecy. That's my prophecy. Today is August 9th. 1 year, I want to see a foreigner in the finals of the GSL. 1 year. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Just kidding. Okay, well, I think that's actually going to wrap up our show for this week. Tune in next week. I'm hoping to have a couple of guests. We're trying to put together kind of a debate type thing. So it's going to be about maps again. If you recall, last week I had Ironman SC on the show from the Planetary Workshop. So I think I'm going to try and bring him back, maybe bring in another one or two community map makers to kind of talk more about the Blizzard maps, the GSL maps, and then their own community projects. I want to kind of... Maybe we'll just do Blizzard bashing for a while, I'm not sure. But anyway, this has been your StarCraft 2 Newscast Weekly Edit number 10. If you like what I do, please let me know. I love feedback. If you hate it, that's totally fine. I'll just ignore you. I'm the kind of guy, I'm kind of like Husky in that way. I just ignore the freaking trolls. They're not worth my time. But you can go ahead and say it. That's perfectly okay. So... check to our Facebook. We have the Twitter at SC2 Newscast. We have the blog, of course, sc2newscast.com. This is blip.tv/SC2 Newscast. So go ahead and let me know what you think. Leave your comments. I appreciate everyone listening and watching. And I'll see you guys next week, I believe. So, thank you.